Hello, my name is Ryan Opp, and I am the designer of Reflections in the Looking Glass, a card game for 2 players, based in Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland setting type thing. This is my niece Cecily and her boyfriend Asher, and they're going to be playing the game with me. They're going to be playing the game against each other, and Cecily's played many times before. Asher thinks he's played before, but it's been a while, so he will actually be learning as I teach this learning video. Here are the 10 cards that appear in the deck. There are 4 copies of every card, and these are nice illustrations by Wilfred D'Agitoy that I had commissioned. And each of these characters, it belongs on a team, and so there's the Sun team and the Moon team down here. And every copy of the card, those same cards will be on that same team. There's never a caterpillar that's on the night team or anything like that. Okay, but there's 4 copies of every card, so it's a 40 card deck. I'm going to take these and we're going to shuffle them up. Okay, let me also show you some other cards that come with the deck. These are layout cards. There are 5 of these, which make slightly different layouts that give you different feels for the game, with fewer choices at the beginning and more at the end, or vice versa, or even choices throughout, things like that. We're going to take these choice cards, or these layout cards, and we're going to mix them up and pull out one at random. And this will be the setup that we put on the table here. So the goal of the game is to have the highest absolute score. So you can collect a negative score or a positive score, but you just need to commit to that. They're the same mechanically, but here's the scorecard here. So let me explain. If we at the end of the game, every person, you're going to have up to 10 score piles, 1 for each character. You should also organize these by the up top we got the Sun team, and then down we got the Night team. I'm not finding any double characters. There we go. Let's say this was your final score for Asher here. You would take the height of the pile and the alignment, or the team that they're on, either the Sun or the Moon team, and then you see the score chart here, and each player can have one of these score charts. Cecily already got hers. So this is -2 points here. This is -1, this is -1, and this is +2. So I'll total a -4, and so Asher would have 4 points because it's just the absolute value. So the closer you are to 0, the worse that is. You want to be as far from 0 as possible. These extra cards here, which we could have deduced were here based on what isn't here, so I'm just going to mix them up, and it's going to still be okay for not knowing things. But you start with 4 cards in your hand. And these are already in, and then 4 cards will go out of the game because there were 28 cards here, and then 4 and 4 and 4 out of the game. These cards are already in your score pile, but your opponent can't see them, so they'll fall into your score piles at the end of the round. And then each turn works like this. So if Cecily's going first, which she will for sake of argument, Cecily has the choice of 4 different cards here, the 4 that are completely uncovered. Once cards are removed, she'll have different choices. It'll be these 4 if it was like that. She selects one of these cards, and there isn't a her side and a his side with her and Asher here. They're both able to draft from either side. But their opponent will get the reflective card, the reflection card at that time. So it's straight across in the same position. So I thought Cecily was reaching for the Mock Turtle. She is. So then Asher gets the Jabberwocky. Now you'll see the way this scorecard works. There's going to be a lot of forcing somebody to take a card that they might not necessarily want. because if Asher's going for a positive score overall, he's going to want 1s and 3s in yellow or in daytime, and 2s and maybe an occasional 4. 4s aren't great in any case, but mostly 2s in the nighttime groups. But if Cecily forces him to take a third one, then it's a big swing to the other side. So that was one turn. That was the first turn. Now it's Asher's turn. He picks a card. His choices are now 1, 2, 3, or 4. He takes the Mad Hatter over there, forcing Cecily to take the Dodo. So your opponent always gets the reflection. That's why this is called reflections. There's this mirror thing going. So I'm just going to let them finish up play here. Cecily now has 6 choices.
Okay.
Occasionally, I don't see it happening here. Oh yeah. Occasionally there will be cards that are linked to themselves. You can see that happening here with the Walrus and Carpenter will be linked to themselves. When one person chooses one of that side, the other person's just going to get the other one, and you're both going to end up with one Walrus or Carpenter. So it is kind of a wash, and you don't have agency. Those types of things are usually avoided strategically, and make the other person do it if you can. Anyway, we'll get down to that card eventually here. I don't know whose turn it is. Is this Asher's?
Yes.
Asher's
Go
turn.
ahead and take the Queen of Hearts then.
Lucy, as Asher took one he already had, he stacked those, which is what he's supposed to do. Cecily has all different cards. So at the end, each player will have 18 cards exactly. You can go ahead and play as I'm talking. So a perfect score in this game is 18 positive or 18 negative. Yeah. So. Now I wonder if we can see what Asher has on camera. Interesting. Yeah. So Asher may have picked his going negative or positive strategy based on what he had to start with. Or based, you can always change halfway through if
Which one?
if your stuff starts going largely the other way.
Okay.
I take
Turtle.
and them's.
Alright.
And so I will be taking this one.
This is bad.
Yeah, you can see how many are left over, which ones you might be taking. These are all strategic considerations. Based on whether you're going to go positive or negative, if you can think,
I get
you
these
can
ones,
get,
yes.
yeah, you got that one.
So I will go
If you
ahead.
think you can get a lot of Walrus and Carpenters to go for a positive score, only half of them or only one.
I'm going to take the Dodo.
Take the Dodo. And see, Cecily's avoiding the non-agency draft of taking the same thing on both sides, but now Asher is forced to do it.
I'm forced into it, which is a shame.
So, but you're still going to get last turn here when Cecily takes here. The last turn is particularly powerful, usually in most games, unless they turn out to be like linked of the same thing. For this reason, the tiebreaker is based on turn order. If they happen to have the same score, the person who went first would win the round. And then
last one, I'm taking the Caterpillar.
Okay. And then the cards in your hand fall into their appropriate piles, and we'll do scoring. Now, scoring seems like a big beast with this thing, but you can see, so we don't have to score every pile, because if there are same numbers of any two different types, they cancel to 0 all the way across down here.
So these two
So
cancel.
those can all cancel. You can also cancel these. You can also cancel these. And you can also cancel these, which means you have a big 0, which is the worst possible score.
Ended up playing against me, huh?
Cecily after canceling, we see she has 8 cards all going in the same direction. So this is a positive 3, as you can see. This is a positive 3, and this is a positive 2. So Cecily gets 8 points. Now Cecily, as the winner of this little hand, gets this card. And then you can play best 2 out of 3 or best 3 out of 5 and pull a new card for the next setup, reshuffle, rinse, and repeat. After this video, I will show you how to play online, but this is how you play in person.
Yeah.
And look at what fun they're having. So enjoy. Try playing it online
losing.
or write to me for a prototype deck if this is a pitch to a company, whatever. I don't know who's going to see this, but this is the How to Play Reflections in the Looking Glass video. Thank you for watching. Now that you know how to play Reflections in the Looking Glass using a deck of the cards, which are still only in prototype form, so it's unlikely that you have a copy, let me show you how you can play online. If you go to raytracer.com/reflections, that's this up here, this will take you to the Reflections webpage. Here, the first 2 links are the ways you can play solo against a computer AI I devised, or you can play 2 players using screentop.gg, which is a fantastic board game on the web tool that you can put your own games in. So I did. First, we'll click on the top one that says you can play the web app against the computer right here. It says even on your phone or mobile device. I recommend the first time you try it, you use an actual computer because it will be kind of small, and also there are certain bugs on some of the various browsers I have tried on phones, and since they're also very different, it's difficult to get that working across all the platforms. Okay, the first question it asks you is, would you like sound effects? Okay for yes, cancel for no. I'm going to say cancel so that I can explain the game to you better, but the sound effects are kind of funny, so you might enjoy them later. They were made by my family and friends. So it takes you to this menu here. Here's another refresher on the rules of the game, which if you've seen the previous part of this video, you won't need. Then there's an easy solo play mode and a difficult solo play mode. And then there's the unrestricted playground, which allows you to make computer moves for both sides, and I'll kind of let you figure that out. It's explained more in the rules of the game. Finally, there are solo play statistics, and you can return back to that previous site. Let's play a difficult solo game. This then brings up a nice dealt out game already. Unlike the regular version with the cards, where you should play the best 3 out of 5, this is just a bunch of one-off games against the computer, and so we might get these random setups in an order that repeats them more frequently. So if I hit new game here, I can just keep doing new games, and you can do that in the middle of a game, and it won't count a loss unless you completely finish the game. So anyway, we'll start with this one here. We have the score reference cards on the sides, still doing that. And then my hand is the cards up along here, and my opponent's hand is secret. They will be revealed at the end of the game. And but there's also these counterpart. These are the placeholders where all the cards you collect will go. And since these cards don't go in there, it is still updating for you what your current score is in that character. It is not doing that for the computer over here, because then you would be able to infer what they had. And the computer cannot see your cards, even though its AI is very strong. It is not cheating. But it will beat you frequently. It beats me about 2 times out of 3. So anyway, we're going to see how we. Well, I don't know if I'm going to actually try my best here because I want to go fast. But when it says player turn on the left side, it is your turn. It will randomly decide who the player's turn is, and over here it'll say AI turn if it's the AI player's turn. If you want to look at any card closer, you can right click. Or on your mobile phone, you can long click, and you can see the fantastic artwork up close. Even the cards up here, and not there. And then you can pick one of these cards that is completely uncovered, as the usual game, and they'll come spinning into your piles. And so we will do that. I guess I'll take a white rabbit. And then Alice goes over there. If you want to see the last move you made, it's then outlined in black, and you can quick undo that last move before you let the AI go by hitting undo. So I'll redo it. And then when it's the AI's turn, you'll notice that nothing works to click on, and this is kind of something people forget. You have to click on where it says AI turn, and then it will turn into an hourglass, and the AI will think for a moment. Hopefully not too long. It can be sometimes long on phones, and at the beginning of the game especially, maybe take 10 or 15 seconds. But it's pretty quick here. So then I would take another card, and then the AI, I would make him go for another card. And these numbers are nicely updating for us what we currently would have going in that, but of course subject to lots of changes. I'm going to quickly just do the rest of these, and since I'm not really paying attention to a strategy, I am darn sure that the AI is going to beat me. But, you know, maybe not. We'll see. Sometimes chaotic play is a little bit better than really thoughtful play. They beat me 13-11, so that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, then you can play another game, or you can quit. Quit takes you back here. Solo play shows your statistics, and of course, since I've cleared my cookies, I've got no wins, no losses on easy, no wins, and 1 loss on difficult. So that's how you play that. I encourage you to try that and get better at it. So then we'll go back to main site, and we'll show you how to play 2-player right here. Okay, so now we're on screentop.gg, and it's a great little site. Again, I have rules listed here, so then you go up to play game right here, and it creates a room for you. Now, just the first player is going to come in and create a room. Everybody else, well, the other person that is going to need the room code, which you'll just go up to the web browser top, and you send them that link there, that URL. Or if you click, I think right here, you can copy that link to your clipboard with just a click. So then you can send that via whatever you're using to communicate to that person. They will need to be on their own computer, of course. Now, I can zoom out. There's some zoom tools over here. Also, control and the mouse wheel zooms you in and out. And then I have to take a seat to be able to move any of these cards. So I'll sit in the blue seat, and then my opponent can sit in the red seat. And every time we click on something, there'll be a border that is us. You know, the blue border means I'm controlling something. The red border means they're controlling something. But there are no rules here. This is just a sandbox. So it's just like playing with the regular decks of cards. There are some setup nice things, but otherwise it's fairly just a sandbox. So let me show you some keys for screen top. If you press space. If you hold down space while you are over any object, it will show you a close-up of the object. The rules are nicely over here. If you click on something and you need to flip it, F is your key for that. And then you can look at more rules. If you need to shuffle something, you have to select all the cards you want in the deck, and it tells you how many cards are in any deck at a time. So there's the 5 setup cards right here. If I double click, I select all 5, or I can select them by holding shift and getting up to 5 and clicking multiple times. But double click's a little easier, and then to shuffle, I press Z. Okay, and I can shuffle that as many times as I want. Then what I would do is I would pull the first card off and flip it and see which board we're going to play with. And instead of, so this board here helps keep the cards locked into the nice place that they're supposed to be. Since it's different all the time, I made different surfaces. You'll see we're on surface 1. If we click on this, we can go to surface 2, 3, 4, or 5 for the different setups. We actually drew the card that is surface 1, so we'll stay here. So actually, and there's a full deck of cards on each of these things. There's not the randomization cards on any but the first surface, so that you can keep going back there. But on these other surfaces, you got a full deck of cards, so you don't have to clean up any of these games or any of these rounds after you play a round. You can just move on to a different one and then see who's won 3 games eventually. So here's the deck of all the cards, all the character cards. And I put F and I flipped over the top one. I'm going to double click these to select all of them, and I'm going to Z, a couple times. I don't know why I do it more than once. It's supposed to be completely random after just one. I'm going to double click all of them, and if I drag them into here, into the board area, it will deal all 28 cards and put the 12 left right there. Actually don't want to do that because, I'm going to do that. And then since I still have all of these selected, I press F and they all flip over. Fantastic. With my remaining 12 cards, I shuffled them some more. Probably didn't need to. Then I'll deal, I can double click again. And since this can only hold 4 cards, then it'll deal 4 cards there. Now you'll see that I can't see these cards in this zone because they are secret to me, and these would be secret to my opponent. So then I can select these and flip these over, and then I would have my starting hand. Up here are the score boxes. The blue player has their score box up here, and the red player has their score box down here. So then when I'm taking cards, I would just put them in one of the 10 zones, and then my opponent would get that. And then of course, if my opponent decides to take this one, he needs to double up because that's the same character as we said. Now this would be a fresh character, and it's not even the same team. It's on the Sun team, so we'll put it in a different row. Then I can have my knights across the top and my days across the bottom, type of thing. And then that one goes there and that one goes there. We're playing, and we're playing the game, as you play. And then at the end, you can just score it up, and then you can kind of push this card like closer to me if I won, or put it down here if he won, and then draw a new one and go find that board, which a shortcut for going through the boards is to press 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 to switch to that board. So that is board 5. So then it directs us to come play here. Same type of thing. You shuffle these up, you put them here, you press F to flip them. Okay? Grab those, put them there, press F to flip them. Grab those, put them there. Even if I can't see them, I can flip them. And then we're ready to start. So it really deals very fast. And so you can play against your friend over the internet. I would suggest that you have some sort of chat program going so that you can talk to them, or you're in the same room or something, because otherwise, it's not as fun. Okay, so that's how you play. And then when you're done here, there is no cleanup. There's no, hey, I don't want to play this anymore. You can just close the browser, and you can come back. If you have the link, you can come back and look at this game later, but any non-activity here for 2 days and the game will be deleted, but you can always start a new one at any time. So that's how you play in screentop.gg. I'm going to hit the back button twice, and we're back at the main page here. If you like this game, put your email address right here and submit it, and we'll let you know when it gets published, so that if it is on Kickstarter, you'll want to know so you can support it there. And if it goes straight to retail, then we'll do that. We'll just let you know where you can buy it. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.